All right. What's going on,
Yun.
everybody?
We're live.
We are live. What's up, fellas?
What's up?
Hello, hello.
Hey,
All
Hello.
Mark.
right.
Hey, Joey.
Hi. Hi. Good
What up,
evening.
guys? You have your Kumu on. I have mine right in front of me.
What's
So,
up?
welcome to Kumu. So, this is the
There you go.
Kumu experience.
Oh, there. We're live here. I can
You
see
know.
you. Wait,
Yeah,
I'm
thank
gonna
you, Mark, for
screenshot.
sending us a halo, and thank you, Joey.
Oh, we already got one.
Yes. I
We
just
deserve
pressed the
that
halo
one.
halo there.
Our first
Wow.
VGs today.
Perfect
Wow.
for
I don't know
dessert.
what it is about you guys, but we're on a roll right now. Okay. Normally, this is when we share the live. So if you can, you see that arrow button on the bottom right, fellas. You can share it to your followers, copy link and stuff. I'm gonna do it.
Mhm.
I'll post on Instagram too. Hello,
Sabi
hello. We're
parang
gonna get
kailan
this
lang
show
tayo
started soon.
tinuturuan na how to do this.
we're pros now, Tristan.
Yeah.
We gotta
Chapter
own it.
art natin.
We are live.
Yeah. Look at us talking about VGs and sharing it.
With our acronyms. Diamonds, by the way.
Diamonds.
Yes, diamonds. What's going on? I'll post this on IG also.
Tag mo
I
na lang
shared
ako.
it in Twitter.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sharing it on IG rin.
Hello, people.
You know.
We're gonna get this show started soon. Just make sure to share with all your friends. We have some very interesting questions and insights coming your way throughout this hour.
It's our Independence Day episode, by the way. So for those watching, we're going full Filipino joke.
Oh, really? Are we going?
Yeah, I'm challenging
Well, I'll
Pawi.
mute myself.
Tagalog. Tagalog ba to?
Patay.
Yeah.
Oo nga no. It's
Kailangan
the
Yeah.
all Tagalog show.
sa Tagalog
Oh.
If
ako
you wanna,
sasagot.
if you wanna hear the Pawi say charot, drop the VG.
The full word, not the abbreviated. Yeah, it's different. Oh, there! I finally got the notification that we're live. Okay.
Yung konting mga ano eh, yung mga konting Filipino ni Pawi na ano eh. Magugulat ka when he drops it.
Yeah. I only know the essentials, guys. Like lugaw.
Like charot.
All right. Who we got here? Sorry, I was just busy sharing. Hey, everyone. What up, Len? Hey, Donna. Donna Abad.
Hey,
Welcome,
Team Manila.
Oh, wow. This
Hello.
is so confusing. There's like,
It's
it's like, you
Inception.
know the Spider-Man meme? It's like,
I'll give coins. I'll give all my coins tonight.
yeah. It's
Parang ano,
self-love.
alam mo yun, no? Yung Mark Jacobs by Mark Jacobs. Nakita yung meme na yun dati. So,
Yeah.
What? Hey, you know what they say? What's it called? It's like you got to be your own customer, right? So there you go.
Yeah.
If you want to start a business, right? Well, anyway, you guys are the experts. I'm just quoting random stuff I hear on the
hello,
internet.
Maliksi. Very Filipino. It fits
Wow.
our theme. Eh?
Trece.
Nice. It's a nice name. Maliksi.
Trece reference.
Yes, yes.
Mark, how are you liking Kumu so far? He seems to be
I'm,
enjoying.
I'm a little bit confused actually. I'm not
Kawawa naman si
seeing
Carlo.
us.
Wow.
Kapagat daw si Carlo.
Hey, you want to try going out and
Going
back
out?
in?
Oh,
Yeah.
actually, it's. I went back right after
Yeah.
I left.
Yep. What up, everybody out there in the audience? We'll get this convo rolling in a couple of minutes or so. That'd be a good
Congrats
time.
sa NFT daw, Team Manila.
What?
Thank
Dude.
you.
You're
Yes.
dropping?
Listen, we have to
You're
throw
dropping
that in
NFT.
one of the questions. Wait, I'm
We have
throwing
a
that in
inde-
somewhere in these questions.
We have
yo.
an Independence Day NFT.
What?
Right. Yeah.
Rad.
That's a whole show, I think.
Oh, thank you, Miss Darius.
My brain kind of did loops thinking about how Mark's gonna do his NFT, but anyway.
Oh, yeah. You can
Uy, maraming
NFT,
kando.
NFT everything.
NFT Smell, no? Huh.
NFT. Oo.
NFT
Yun yung
smell.
That's the next step sa sa NFTs. It's like
Yeah.
4D. May
Right, right.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
an
scratch and sniff
Scratch
NFT.
and sniff. Oh my gosh.
All
What
right.
happened to that?
You can
Aaron.
connect, yeah, you can connect NFT to an actual,
It's an
like a
actual
vid, yeah, actual product.
a tactile thing.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
you can do like one off scent,
Right.
and
And then I'm gonna
then
send it out.
Yeah.
and then create
Yeah.
a digital, like an artwork out of that one.
Right,
So you
right.
sell the artwork, and then when they buy the NFT,
Yeah.
they get the
Because
one of
you remember
one.
the old magazines where there's
Yeah.
the perfume and the paper.
Ah,
Yeah,
yes.
When I was a
Yeah.
kid, yun ang ginagawa ko. Like,
We're going in cycles, everyone.
they cut
I mean,
it
that's
and
what I
then
always
put-
say. Like technology is just right. All these tech innovations are just like old
Yeah.
stuff. Like what delivery that's been around since
Right.
the 90s.
dapat may
You
question
know?
tayong gano'n. Like, kung sent ang rapper,
Oh no.
We're getting. You know what? We are metaphorically crumpling our original questions and tossing them in the bin right there because we are.
Uy, si
Because we,
Maliksi,
we obviously have the better. Yes,
Si
Maliksi,
Maliksi.
you're absolutely right.
Yeah, yeah.
We're actually in touch with AJ.
AJ.
Di Maricot.
Di Maricot.
Yes.
Yeah. So wait
So
nyo lang. We're gonna... We
if you really want to
might.
see that, if you really want to see an inside the history episode like that, show us some love. We're always open to hearing suggestions from you guys. But yes, excited to hopefully have AJ on the show soon. Right? Okay, Tristan, Mark, Joey. I think we're kind of like situated in the streaming space now. Shall we start the show?
You've seen some
Yeah.
love. Yeah.
All right. And by the way, everyone, I'm gonna remind you about this. You are about to have a lot of knowledge gems come your way. So if you like what you hear from any of our guests, maybe Tristan and myself, show some love, send us some diamonds, please. And time to start this show. All right, you are streaming Rappler on Kumu. This is Hustle Inside the Industry, where we talk to professionals and find out how they got here, why they're doing what they do, and what it takes to do it. Welcome, community, to the live recording of our special episode celebrating Philippine independence with Dama Ko Lahi Ko. It's a month-long campaign to promote Filipino culture through all senses. Sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. Did I miss anything, Tristan?
Ano ba? Sixth sense na lang. I don't know.
Yeah, ghosts? Ghosts? Who knows? I don't know. I didn't
Sixth
see
sense,
it in the
yeah.
lineup. There you go. So,
Fourth
Tressa.
dimension.
Guys, it's all Tressa plugs tonight, by the way. But so if you want to see how different brands and groups are celebrating, follow the hashtag DamakoLahiko throughout the month of June.
And if you like the episode, you can play it back. Just follow Hustle Inside the Industry. Sorry. So again, that's Hustle Inside the Industry. Kasi ibang podcast if you just put Inside the Industry. And I warned Pawi to not do that.
Don't
kasi
advise searching
may
that.
malalabas
You know
na
that they're going to
industry.
search it now. You know they're going to search it. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Just follow Hustle Inside the Industry on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So this specific episode, it comes out Monday, June 14. So that's the Monday after Independence Day. Again, Monday, June 14. So as always, I'm Tristan.
And this is Pawi, and we're from Rappler's Hustle team. Joining us today, we have two distinct figures among many brands participating in this Dama Ko Lahiko campaign. They are quite different from each other. That's why we're super excited for this tandem here. They cater to different senses, but they are united under the umbrella of local brands, homegrown local Filipino brands. So with that, please welcome Joey Alviar of Team Manila and Mark Zavalia of Saan. Hey guys, welcome to Rappler on Kumu.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey Joey, hey Mark.
Hey,
Hi, Pawi. Hi,
Pawi,
Tristan.
Tristan, I was just thinking like their backgrounds, like they're both on brand today. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Tayo, bakit
This is
brand
my
ba tayo?
usual background.
Yeah.
Parang I can smell the background already of Saan.
Oh,
Really?
Very
Diba?
calming
Parang-
na yata, ano?
Morning dew.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Send some
I think it's a
diamonds if you can
bonsai.
smell what Mark is like sending through the waves, so
But
to speak.
images you can smell, right? It's
Yeah.
it's
Ako,
people use
white.
that.
uh,
Uh,
true.
So now since Pawi introduced you, now we want to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself. So Joey, can you tell me quickly what can you tell our audience what Team Manila is? And Mark, after that you can tell us more about Sansan.
Okay. Team Manila is we started out as a graphic design studio, early 2000. So I'm dating myself already.
He was
But
10.
people know us about more on the T-shirt that we created. It's the Jose Rizal with shades, and among other things like Filipino street food stuff like that. So we're the local Filipino T-shirt brand. So that's the
nice.
quick answer for who we are. Yeah.
What
Mark?
about you, Mark?
Hi, so I'm Mark Savalia. I'm the Chandler, the only Chandler, aka candle maker
I saw you in that reunion
of
the other
Sunset.
week.
Yeah. um, so Saan is a like Team Manila, a homegrown candle studio. We I usually use we, but it's really just mostly me. So we founded this in 2018, um, and we make sense. Basically, the candles that distinct the thing that distinguishes Saan from others, I guess, would be how they're all travel inspired and how um, we have sense
Saan
like
saan.
Yes.
yeah. I think I'm not sure if I'm gonna get that question later. Why it's Saan, but that's it. I preempted it.
Spoilers. Come on, Mark. No, no, but
That's
this is great.
fine.
Speaking of questions, everybody, this is your chance. Especially if you're fans of Team Manila or Saan Saan, you can ask Joey and Mark your questions. You just need to send them in the chat, and we'll we will relay them
Ask them.
over. Yes, but for now, we want to take it all the way back, guys. Let's go all the way back to the past. You introduced what you guys are up to now,
Mm.
but we want to know how you got into it in the first place. So, Mark, maybe we can start with you. Like, how did you even come up with this idea of candle making? How did you even discover this
Ano
medium?
daw, para daw yung secret origin mo sa pagiging Chandler.
I
It's my
don't
um,
know if those are
skill.
two separate questions, but we'll see.
yeah. My background really is so different from what I'm doing now. I used to be in tech. Um, so before 2018, I'm working in corporate, basically, developing apps for the healthcare industry. We were trying to change, the way things are in terms of the hospital and patient experience, and then came the pandemic. But anyway, that's where I was really, and then I left corporate with the intention of really just traveling, and then I realized very soon that it's not very sustainable lifestyle. So I'm gonna need to have to, generate income and start thinking about what I'm gonna do with my time. So um, shortly after I left, I decided I wanted to try my hand at candle making, and this is because like when I was still in working at the corporate, I went into a weekend of exploring the craft, just trying out, because I don't know, it just came to me. I just wanted to try to make candles, but not necessarily turn it into a business at the time. But when I didn't have a job anymore, I said maybe I can go back to that weekend hobby thing that I tried, and so but I said I needed to change the way candles look like, because if I'm going to kind of launch a brand, because mostly there's a certain look with candles, and there's a certain branding or even the scents that come with the candles. Parang there's always that floral or just very straightforward scents. And so I wanted to infuse travel and experience and scent making and see what I could come up with. So the very first scent I was able to develop was a candle called Baker Street of Poblacion.
Uy,
Mm.
my my
I
hood.
smelled it already. Yeah.
You did?
I did.
Yeah, I was like,
um,
wow. Nice.
I
Yeah.
so it was for Christmas of 2017 Christmas time. I said I'm gonna gift friends with the candles that I make and see kind of have a way to test also the candles. And so that's what I came up with. Um, and then I joined my first bazaar. Joey mentioned about joining bazaars. I think all of us went through that at first. So in a few months later, I developed like 5 blends, mostly all just generated from memory, like places I wanted to sort of capture in a jar or in a bottle.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't have any perfumery background actually. I just thought I followed my nose and just try whatever kind of
Huh.
jugs that memory or reminds me of the place, and so it went from there. From 5 cents, now we have 12.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, Tristan, you ever get like those times when you just like randomly like smell your room from childhood and you're like, wait a minute, like I don't live there anymore. But like it like all comes back to you. That's what that reminds me.
Ako kasi
Yeah,
ano eh, I've been long away from my childhood home eh. Like kasi college life ko.
No,
Pero
exactly. That's my point. Yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
Pero
yeah.
kung mas
Actually,
naalala ko yung LB, sorry, I
Go
came
ahead.
from UP Las Baños. So parang minsan yun yung pupasok sa ilong ko like, amoy...
Yeah, like you're not
amoy,
even there. You're like, wait,
my forest,
or like
right?
it's from
Yeah.
another country. Like a
Yeah.
scent from another country, and you're like, wait, how did that get here?
Yeah,
Like-
Gusto ko yung amoy ng elementary classroom. Elementary
Yeah.
school classroom.
Yeah,
I also
yun.
like
Like a-
that. It's actually the scent of paint and paper.
Pink.
Oh,
Like-
kailangan may
pencil.
Elmer's glue.
Yeah, yung
Paint pala yun, no?
cartolina or whatever.
No?
Medyo toxic pala yung paint, no? Kaya tumatagal.
Yeah. Someone approached me before and he wanted to come up with a candle that smells like new paper. I think exactly what Joey's saying. The smell of like
Yeah.
school supplies or
Yeah, actually,
right.
distinct
So,
yun, no?
I think it's paint.
Mark, meron akong gusto na na scent for Team Manila. Amoy balikbayan box.
That's great.
Ano
Yeah.
yun?
A lot of
Di ba
us,
di-
a lot of people will be able to relate to that, I think.
Very distinct yung amoy ng balikbayan box.
I agree. Amoy America, ano?
Amoy,
Pero kasi scents talaga, di ba? Scents are stronger in conjuring memories. Parang even more
It
than
is.
sight. Yeah.
It's
Tama,
it's more
tama.
than anything. It's actually even better than music. With music, it
Yeah.
brings us back to the past, right? But scent, they say our olfactory nerves are more connected to that place in our brain for memories, and so it's so instant like that. You're transported back to wherever it is.
Yo, so if anybody out there can smell this wisdom right now, show us some love. But shout out to Glow, by the way. Glow 0818. Thanks for
Oo
the,
nga, airplane
gift.
cabin.
So there
That's-
you go.
And she's
Boom.
correct. Sabi ni Glow. It smells like an
You know what?
airplane cabin. Yeah.
Send
Distinctive.
our way. Send your ideas our way. To Mark
Yeah.
rather of like what scents you want to smell. Like what scents you truly like vibe with. But okay, now let's pivot over to sight and maybe touch, I guess, Red Joey with the actual shirt itself. Let's talk about how Team Manila started. I think many of us here remember you guys from a while back. So super duper. I've been wanting to actually know the answer to this for a while. How'd you get your start?
Okay, so there's two of us who started Team Manila. My business partner, Mon Punzalan, and I were college classmates in UST. So that
Nice.
we're taking fine arts advertising. So we really wanted to be a graphic designer, not really into the advertising agency life. Parang mas nakikita namin sarili namin as graphic
Oo nga, dami.
designers talaga.
Dami sa
And
advertising
then
na ano eh.
mas yun, sa amin parang mas
UST.
cool yung projects. So yeah, during that time, after graduation, we imagined putting up a small design studio. Eventually, I went to the US to take my masterals in graphic design, and
Wow.
then after that one, bumalik ako sa Manila, and then yun, parang my experience in Cal Arts was like all the designers,
Ooh, Cal
the
Arts, shout out. That's a great program, dude.
it's a color,
Nice.
yeah, it's a small crazy school.
Yeah.
So
Really good.
like we have like visiting artists there, and then everyone's representing yung where they came from in terms of like design. So guys from like New York, guys from like Amsterdam, they have their own parang design identity. So I was talking to Mon about that, and then parang masarap gawin yun for Philippines or for Manila. So when I got back, yun yung ano namin, yun yung parang mission namin na we want to represent through graphic design, parang represent yung ano namin, yung where we came from, so which is Manila. So yun, that's how we started. And then we started in actually here I'm working at home right now, and this is our first studio.
Wow.
We were just bunch of young designers getting free food from home, no rent, free lunch, tapos walang kuryente, free electric bill. So that's how we started doing freelance
Wow.
design, and then eventually growing the company. But the T-shirt, it started after a few years na. So we were just always wearing T-shirt, shorts, and chinelas dun sa studio. If there's no client, nagsasapatos lang kami pag may client. So we were doing that, and then we started.
We're not gonna
the
ask you
T-shirt.
to stand right now.
Ako nagyaya ako bigla eh. Kasi gusto ko right now eh.
Naka-shorts. Sino naka-shorts dito?
Ako. Yes, rin ako.
Shorts. Si Mark,
I'm wearing
No,
my
no, no.
pajamas. Pajamas.
Yeah. I already know Mark is always like gonna have linen pants. I just feel like,
No.
Luxury.
Stereotype.
No, actually, I'm wearing my never been washed for I guess a few weeks pants now. My
Yeah.
pajama.
Okay, close enough. Joe, yeah,
Oh,
sorry,
it smells something also.
May distinct na rin siya. Memory of 2 weeks. 2 weeks memory.
Yeah.
Meron na siya
Joey, go.
napuntahan.
But
Yeah,
I think
Go ahead.
Joey, you were successful in doing that, in making an icon out of your designs, in representing Manila or even the Philippines, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a matter of like we kept on communicating, we kept on showing the designs. We were really in a mission to like talk about graphic design and what we do. So from day one, ano talaga kami, parang we need to show everyone ano yung ginagawa namin.
Yeah.
Submit our designs sa mga design books in international publication. So parang since day one, parang we stuck to our mission. So
But
we're
Rizal
16
in Shades is, I think, an icon already.
Icon.
Yeah. Parang ano eh. Actually nga parang you were the frontiersman in like doing that like Filipino pop design eh. Kasi parang,
Yeah.
I remember like early no mga high school and college days ko, parang hindi pa
Yeah.
siya ganun ka-uso. And then,
Who's high school? Who's college?
Yeah. Iba-ibang ano tayo dito, timeline tayo dito.
sorry, I mean, yung mga ibang kilala ko nung high school and
No, but
college.
actually, to that point, Joey, I was gonna say, you know what's interesting about Team Manila, right? Obviously, you introduce yourself as a shirt brand, um, especially now. Nowadays, graphic design is just like this ubiquitous thing, right? And Tristan and I love our graphics team here at Rappler, and everyone is just into it. It's like almost like a household skill now. But now that you've taken me back to the past, with the scents and all of that, the first time I ever heard the words graphic design were from your store. I think that's even
Yeah.
how you branded. You said you were like the graphic design tea or
Lifestyle.
something.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah,
Graphic design
and graphic
lifestyle.
design lifestyle. And I
Yeah.
guess a quick question to that, Joey, is like around that time. That was roughly when graphic design was like picking up globally, right?
Yeah, we were like before us, it's either you're a freelance artist or advertising guy. So the graphic designer would be the in between, parang description, like a small studio, doing not too much advertising work. So parang we lifestyle. So dinadrag talaga namin yung name ng graphic design. We were explaining it to clients, ano yung ginagawa ng graphic designer. Pag tinawag kaming artist, like, sir, graphic designer. So ano talaga, it's about, kumbaga, educating our clients, educating our market, yung mga ganun. Dun sa umpisa. Now, yun nga, they're taught in schools already. There are a lot of like really good graphic designers. So it's a good progression.
I mean, look where we are now, diba? I mean, it's really big props rin to you guys. Kasi like, yung nga, in a way, you also popularized it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nung ano rin talaga, yeah, marami rin nagsabi na ilang generations, like nung high school sila or nung college sila, nakita nila yung design, and then doon sila na-inspire na mag graphic design or fine arts. So far, hindi pa naman kami sinisisi ng mga magulang nila.
Ikaw, ano?
So good.
Give it a couple. Yeah. Show some love, by the way, for Team Manila. Send
Thank
those
you, Yellow
diamonds,
Goo,
yo.
for sending us a halo-halo. So, now I wanna ask more kasi yung Team Manila, you're also in t-shirts. So, if you talk about t-shirts, about candles, Mark nga said kanina na he's like the only male Chandler. So, I mean, the insight that you can gather here, it's very, these industries are kind of niche. And then also in a way, it's like, in the past, these are more import heavy. Like even right now, streetwear, it's mostly international brands. So I wanna ask lang, how is it? How was the experience of like branding yourself as a local brand amidst this parang this landscape that's saturated with international competitors with imports? Like what were the challenges? How was the overall experience?
Mark, you want to go first?
Right. It's a very interesting question. Because in 2018, when I launched Saan, there was hardly any. There were a couple, maybe 3 to 4 local candle makers in Metro Manila that we would run into during pop-ups and bazaars. But when people talk about candles, they really talk about the imported ones, right?
Yeah.
At the time, can we mention brands here?
Yeah, sure.
At the-
Yeah, okay lang. Pag
At the
natanggal yung
time, I
screen. Go lang.
see, I mean, the biggest U.S. candle brand like Yankee Candles came in the Philippines. I think roughly around the time last year. That time in 2017, 2018, somewhere along that time. And then, but I guess the key thing that I think was important was to be consistent about being local and about being about being homegrown, because we have our own stories to tell. I think this applies across the board in any kind of industry. Um,
Mm-mm.
like Tim Manila told the story of the Filipino. In making
Yeah.
the candles, I think there's really no other story to tell than being Filipino, right? So in making the scents, while I'm trying to tell a personal story about these places I went to, I'm actually also telling the story of the Filipino, right? Because these are scents
Mm-mm.
that that people are familiar with and are accustomed with, and scents in particular are a very personal thing. So there are a lot of people in the abroad, like I guess OFWs or people who miss the Philippines, who would come and message us and say, we want to send your candles to people who miss home, because they want they want they want to remember home through the scent. So I think it was key to be consistent, like never stopping to tell the story that you
Mm-mm.
are local, and that you are, you know, um, talking about things that is close to you, close to your heart. So
Nice. How
Mm.
about you, Joey? What is it on your end, especially at that time? No.
Like, right, that time, yun nga, wala pa masyadong local t-shirt brand. Actually, when we were in college, merong mga local fashion brands that we were parang looking at yung mga Warp, or sila Cecil Zamora. Yun yung mga time ng underground parties. So
Mm.
meron ng mga independent brands during that time.
Sick.
But for the graphic design t-shirts or graphic shirts, yon wala pa. So that was a good thing na there were a lot of international brands in the market, like the Stussies,
Oh my
yung mga
gosh, that's when they were
the
all coming in. Yeah.
yeah, like the hundreds. Yun yung mga malalakas during that
Skater
time.
shoes.
So parang
Sorry, if
yung
there's a kid, don't be distracted. It's
I'll
for
bring
little
my kid
niece.
in. So during that time, yeah, mas maganda yung contrast na we were adding a new parang flavor to the market, so like a new option. So we were pegging na the quality and the presentation would be like the international brands, but the topics are parang yung things that you associate with. So parang ganun yung ginawa naming strategy. So it worked to our advantage na fresh pa yung graphic shirts sa market. So right now, ang dami na ring local brands and it's very competitive market na. So that's the difference nowadays.
Yeah.
Pero parang at least, diba, you help kickstart that industry. Like,
Yeah.
yun yung naisip ko, like, in the past na parang wala masyado. Now, the industry is
Yeah.
becoming a bit healthy na.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still... Yeah.
That's one thing rin na parang gusto talaga namin gawin. Like, so we were parang nagjo-join kami palagi ng mga talks sa universities.
Yeah.
We've been to like Lasal, Ateneo, parang sinasabi namin kung ano yung paano kami nag-start. Sinabi namin, ano lang, we just started with like our 2 personal computers and then lahat libre na. So we were trying to demystify yung how we started. And yeah, so nagkaroon na ng maraming
Wow.
mga local brands na rin. The t-shirt brands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that adds like all the context again. Like I told you, like because I was like, wow, Rockwell store for power plant storefront, and it's like boom, you were like really putting yourselves out there as like yes, like we're at this level already. So definitely, you definitely fooled me with that. But I do want to give some shout outs to just like random usernames that I really enjoyed seeing. There's Spider-Man, Spider-Man, congrats for your name. Apple D up.
Who's
That's excellent. We'll
yeah, I was
have
gonna
you on
say
the
that rin
show.
eh.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my friend Laura is here. I think siya yan. Kasi
Yeah,
siya,
shout
I
outs.
think I think she's the only
Mark, Joey,
Alora
if you
sa
have
mundo.
if you got your friends here, and shout them out.
Yun. She said
Hey
yo. So she
Patty,
is.
Patty Zavalia. There you go.
Hey,
There you
Pat.
go. Awesome. And on that note, by the way, we only have Mark and Joey for like for another half hour. So if you have questions that you're dying to ask, keep them PG-13. Send them in the chat and we'll ask them. But anyway, I want to fast forward now to this moment in time. It's getting a bit cliche, but we have to ask it right now during lockdown, during pandemic. Uh, what was that experience, or rather, what is that experience like on your ends running your brands now? Joey, we'll start with you this time.
Elephant in the room yun eh. Pa, we said, diba? Like it's
Yeah,
everything. It's what we're all experiencing. Anyway, yeah,
yeah,
go
Yeah,
Joey.
yeah. Both of you guys, those are like
Yeah.
tangible products.
yeah. It was the industry was hit really hard last year, and then we're just recovering right now. From our suppliers, the supply chain was hit. There were no like materials available for our shirts. Like production stopped, our store stopped. Like everything was on a standstill. So parang we really had to, kumbaga, look, parang step back, and then ano yung gagawin natin, and then a lot of like things going on parang online. So we were doing online selling. We opened like multiple channels during that time, and then we really needed to ramp up yung ano namin online, because like all the physical things like stopped. So, and yeah, maraming challenges on the design studio side. We didn't get to work together with our designers, so everyone had to like work from home. Up to now we're working from home, so yung mga ganon, a lot of like adjustments. We miss working together. It's faster to do collaborations when you're there in the table already, but we had to adjust. But so slowly, the industry is picking up. Yeah, and then parang either naka-adjust ka na sa situation, or you're ano na, slowly opening your stores. You have your resellers already, and then the market is back. So slowly going back to our feet. So it was really challenging.
Yeah, did you guys the team Manila? I haven't checked lately, but did you do like any interesting uh, online campaigns to really like at least keep that connection with your customer base?
The one Our collection, for summer last year before the pandemic hit, yung topic during that time was all that traffic in EDSA, di ba? Yung siguro before Christmas. So our
Yeah.
plan for 2020, we created a collection. It's called Urban Commuter. And one of our product was a mask.
Oh.
So
Wow.
parang mask na
Oh,
if you're commuting, 'di ba? You should wear a mask. It's a cloth
Pero
mask.
nakita ko
It's
yun.
just black and everything. So even
Yeah.
before the pandemic hit, we were nag-R&D na kami ng mask during that
Mask.
time. So
wow.
when it hit, we have like a photo shoot
Swerte.
already, and then ang
Ready
ginawa
na.
na lang namin yung Jose Rizal with shades. We put mask on him, and
Yeah,
then
nakita ko yun.
up to now that's our logo. And then we created the new frontliner shirt, and
Mm.
then proceeds went to like feeding the frontliners. So we worked with Rock Ed, to
Fantastic.
parang, so yung mga ganon, like when there was a time na nag-start na yung mga konting production, we created mga relevant frontliner shirts na makakatulong sa ano, like
Yeah.
to raise funds. So yun yung mga ibang ginawa namin during the time.
And how about
Minsan,
you, Mark? Like, you mentioned a big part of your start was like bazaars, and we know what
Yeah.
happened with
Yeah.
that last year. So, what was it like
Yeah.
on your end?
It's actually very interesting in that it's quite the opposite of what Joey was saying, because I think 2020 birthed the candle industry in the
Yeah,
Philippines, because there's just
so
Yeah,
so
much.
many. I mean, every week you would see like a
so,
new brand coming up with
yeah,
with with a new line, or a new candle brand. So, and I think it represents the people's longing for some calm and some comfort
Parang,
in their life, while everything is in chaos outside, right? And people are all just at home, and they can burn their candles while they're working. So it's a little bit quite the opposite of in terms of the business. Um but but right before the lockdown, I was actually um I actually have a store already for about a year. um and so we had to close that, and we had to be out of operation for I think 3 months, just because we don't know what's going on, right? Especially that very first few months, right? We don't know
oh boy,
the
yeah,
supplies, or how we get the supplies. Is this going to be lifted after a month? Is this going to be over after a month, or right? So
yeah,
we were all in that wait and see time.
hanggang
And
ngayon
so
yun ang
when
tanong
we
eh.
exactly.
Like,
Yeah,
when,
right,
we're
right,
we're
true.
still in that exact spot. Anyway,
are we ever going to get out of this, right? So candles help, you know.
yeah,
And so um now I think that a lot in terms of the, I guess, the small industry of candles, I'm still seeing a lot of new brands coming up, and a lot of candle reviewers also coming up.
this is what we were
So
talking
I
about
guess
before this
Wow.
recording.
we were
Yeah,
talking about it earlier, right? And this
yeah,
is interesting. Like I said, when we launched, there was hardly any industry before. I would source my supplies um, from everywhere. Like, I would import some of them. I would try to scour the internet and find people who actually have this, the oils and whatnot. But now it's, I think the newer brands have it easier, because they're all like available online. um, so I think that's a bit of a silver lining, if you will,
true.
for this small industry of candle making. um,
yeah, parang ano rin eh. I think kasi with all the challenges of the past year, it's like people were all trying to find their wellness spot, like whether
I
that's
think so.
di ba,
Yeah,
Naman
candle.
ng Zen.
Oh, Zen, di
I
totally.
ba?
think so.
Parang at least
I
at
started buying
home.
these shirts.
Yeah, I
I
think
didn't
so.
have this
People,
shirt before the pandemic. Yeah,
what's
So,
that?
like I
Paris had
started buying
t-shirt
like
niya.
shirts. Just like it's like
Yeah,
nature, be with me, even though
yeah,
I'm at home. You know.
exactly.
Diba, ang dami
Yeah.
plantito. Si nanay ko naging
Ah,
essential
yeah, yeah.
oil
I
person.
have a little
Oo.
cactus there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, we have a question
Yeah.
here, but Elora, we promise mamaya we'll ask tips from our guests. But
Sure.
before we get into the tips, let's ano muna para manitunong na before we go to the tip. um I want to ask you like your sentiments. Like what do you
Hmm.
not your sentiments, but like how would you gauge like the audience sentiment right now to local brands, whether that be traditional crafts like candles with you, Mark, and like more modern streetwear like yours, Joey. Like, what's the current sentiment sa pagiging local brand?
Okay. Well, I
Yeah,
think
Joey.
for our market, there's a big appreciation of like being local already, telling your own story, um, and being unique, having a unique offering aside from like what you see on the mass market. So na-appreciate na nila yon. Before parang sobrang palaging imported, that mindset, 'di ba? Na when even for us when we started out in college, yan, Nikes or mga uh, Adidas, so, yung mga yun pa rin mga tinitingnan namin before. But right now, dahil nag-level up yung mga brands, like the quality, the presentation, and the pricing, it's still competitive. So na-appreciate na ng market ngayon, and then it's good na it changed to that way. Yeah.
Great. Yung nga parang I think right now it's like may parang may pop culture nationalism na rin. I think that's something that I tie to Team Manila. Like I remember writing something about that nung college ako. And then you're one of the examples na parang you were at the forefront rin of like making it something that people would wear talaga na okay, yung parang I am wearing my being Filipino ganun.
Hindi lang pasalubong, no? Hindi lang
Hindi na
pasalubong. Except
pasalubong.
you really get it for
Yeah.
yourself.
Daman nila lahi nila. Di ba? Napasok natin.
Pasok.
How about you, Mark?
And then,
Go, Joey.
Then, when that pasalubong idea, yung nagkaroon na rin ng reverse pasalubong na, bilhin mo to for your cousin is in the States. And then, we're gonna go to the vacation. Ask your cousins anong gusto nila, and then they'll ask for a
Kuya
Team
Pawi
Manila
mo.
shirt.
Kuya Pawi mo sa New York. Anong gusto
So,
niya?
They love that kind of stuff, man. Absolutely. In the US.
Parang naging ganun na yung yung trend. So that was nice. It's nice for us then. Yeah.
Yeah, how about you, Mark? From your point of view, how is kind of like the landscape shifted in terms of how people like view local brands now, like yourself?
Actually, I think specifically for candles, I think there is now, I notice a preference on local brands over so much more expensive imported brands, because it's just crazy expensive to get like a candle from New York or from France or whatever, right? So and people would even say that sometimes it's even much better than this more expensive brands in terms of the technical part of burning candles or the scents. So I'm thinking there is a preference to local brands. The other thing is because it's getting populated by many boutique brands as well. I think people are looking for new things that come out a little bit more regularly. The thing with developing scents is it's not, you can't just have it like in a few days or in a couple of weeks even. There's so much right. No, there's a lot of testing that goes with it. So you add, let's say, one drop of this particular oil that you like, and then you see how it will smell together with the other things that you've already put in it. If it doesn't work, then you have to do it all over again. So you start from scratch.
Well,
and so
Mark, really quick, technically speaking, to reset your sense of smell, it's coffee beans, right? Like, how do you don't they do that in
I didn't
stores?
know.
Yeah, like wouldn't your nose get saturated at some point when you test?
Exactly.
I'm just
right.
Yeah.
Alam ko sa food, di ba? May mga pang ganun, may mga palate cleanser.
Yeah,
right,
cleanser.
right. Sorbet. So the equivalent is, I think it's popularly known that coffee works for that. But I just read an article, a perfumery article, that coffee actually doesn't work. I don't know. That's weird.
It just
because
makes you
sometimes
smell
it works
something
for me.
else. It like
It's,
just
I
like
guess,
distracts
right.
you.
But what really resets
Look.
your sort of palate is wool. Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. Hello, hello. Yes.
It's they said it's wool, like the
Wool?
Wool.
fabric wool.
Wow. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean wool
apparently
doesn't. Okay, it's a very subtle smell. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
that's 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 the most scientific way to sort of cleanse your olfactory palate. The other thing is smelling your own skin. So if you smell yourself,
Mm.
then it kind of
Mm,
refreshes your
because that's
nose,
like
and
the
then
smell
it
that you're
refreshes.
most. That's like your neutral smell. That's like your
I, I
default. No.
I think that's why it
Whoa.
resets you.
Okay,
Interesting.
Yeah.
I put rubbing alcohol in my hand, but so my hand smells like alcohol, so no, didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to be your smell. So some kind
Got it.
of, yeah.
Okay, work.
Mm.
We've got a lot of
Um.
questions right now, pero let's reserve it a
Okay.
little bit to
Okay.
the end. It will tie into our
Yeah. No. And
next question. Yeah.
yeah. So this is wrapping up super nicely. And to your point about Mark, that made total sense. Like if I'm thinking of a candle for me lang ha, like because the candle medium in and of itself is kind of a traditionalistic. It's kind of dated. Like you don't need candles for its like functional purpose as much anymore. But like
Yeah.
you like the history behind it. Kind of like it takes you back a bit, and it's almost weird for me to think that like I'm getting a candle from a different country that was flown by a plane or shipped by like whatever. I want it to feel like it came directly from the maker. So for me, that's why it would make sense that local is really
Yeah.
the preferred.
That's actually one of the, back when I was really starting, that's one of how I wanted to peg the brand, something analog, because we're so used to so much of this digital
Mm.
age, right? Like you're bombarded with so much content, and actually the act of lighting a candle itself is a distressor,
Yeah,
because you're going back to something that's so primitive and so,
fire. It's it
and
can
Mm.
burn you.
and
Yeah.
the element, yeah, exactly, you have to be
Wow.
mindful of what you're doing. So that's
Galing.
that's really a thing also, being analog versus all the other digital stuff.
I'm gonna sneak in a question. I'm sorry. I didn't catch you. Oh, Maan CJIZ asked Mark. Really quick question. What's your favorite scent of
Hindi pa
yourself?
nga
What
eh.
is
Kung send ka, ano, at bakit? Joke.
Iba
ah
yan, iba
you
yan.
know,
Iba pa siya eh.
Iba yan.
Yeah.
you know what I really like? The smell of burning dried leaves, in the province.
Mm. Province.
The province smell, and this is something that I've always wanted to explore, try to capture in
Yeah.
a bottle, but I don't know, I can't. um but that smell, that's very smoky, woodsy, burning smell of like an afternoon, late
Yeah.
afternoon, like the sun is about to come down, and then you've done all your tasks for the day, and you're walking on the street on your way home, and just you smell someone in the backyard, or someone's backyard's burning leaves, um like
Wow.
collected leaves under the tree. So that's something that always kind of brings back memories and the childhood, and also pleasant
Yeah.
feeling. Parang time to rest. Parang ganun.
Yeah,
Parang
Maybe
sabi nga
some
naamoy,
ways.
naamoy ko na yun. Naamoy ko na
Uh,
siya.
naalala ko
Tapos may,
naga bigla.
may nagwawalis, no?
Oh, may
Oo.
nagwawalas.
Naalala ko lola ko.
Tapos,
Sa punong mangga.
unang
It
mangga.
reminds me of Naga City kasi doon yung lola ko, then she does that a lot. So
I
you're
think it's a
conjuring
very
memories.
it's a very
Yeah.
Filipino thing that a lot of us can relate to, because we all have that lola who, I know,
yeah.
well,
Tapos may
makes
hukay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
May
it's
hukay
follow
pa,
hukay.
di ba? For the
Yeah.
leaves.
Yeah.
Yung amoy
Yung
ng
supposed to-
puno,
klase.
amoy ng lupa, all those together.
Right, all those
Yeah.
things,
Yeah.
right? Wow.
The siga
Well,
scent.
well,
Maan
now
scent.
Mark,
The
you have
siga.
like.
Siga scent, yeah.
I feel like Mark, that's like your goal. Arguably, like your unreachable goal. And maybe
Yeah.
It's
you'll
the Moby
never
Dick.
be able to maybe it's not ever meant to be captured
And
because you need to still have that experience firsthand.
I was gonna say, Pawi, maybe that's
Yeah.
not supposed to be turned into
Yeah.
something that you would sell because it's priceless. I think
Yeah.
to be able to experience that, and maybe you have to go and take a trip before
Yeah, that's one
you
of those
can.
strips that you can't replace. But on
Yeah,
on the note of I guess like aspirations and stuff. What's next
Alimo.
for
Yeah,
each of you? Joey, we heard we kind of heard a bit of a spoiler about your NFT. You can talk a bit.
Uh,
I'm curious about your NFT, but also what else is
yeah.
next for Team Manila?
well, we have an exhibit right now with fellow uh, brands like independent t-shirt brands, and we were talking about this idea of like we were always been inspired by graphic or brands, streetwear brands from Japan or streetwear brands from like West Coast, East Coast, and
Yep.
what if in the future we parang Philippines naman yung tinitignan or Filipino brands naman yung sinusuot nila or Filipino stories yung nababasa nila. So I think that's one of our future goals as a group. How do we move towards inspiring other like streetwear brands to look at what we're doing here in the Philippines? So that's a nice goal for the whole like t-shirt and yung mga t-shirt brands na ano
Uh,
naman. Tayo
uh,
naman magko-contribute. Yeah.
Suggestion si Elora
uh,
E. Local
Game.
textiles daw. Like, is it part of your plan? Like using local textiles?
Yeah, we would love to work with like local weavers to use for our for our t-shirts or accessories. Yeah.
that's crazy. That's
Or
like bridging the past and the
yeah.
present and the future. Yeah.
They have a lot of like really beautiful materials and then would love to work with them. That's in the
Nice.
plan. That's in the plan. Yeah.
Nice. And what about
Cool.
that NFT?
The
It's for you.
NFT, yeah, that's another thing. We wanted to extend the story of Team Manila, the story of Philippines through design to like a new market. So again, telling the story through T-shirts. We want to tell the story of the Philippines to the world through design. Now we're telling the story of the Philippines through NFT, through digital art or crypto art.
Yeah.
So parang and Team Manila is always into parang exploring new things
Yeah.
and innovating our brand. So we love to do collaboration. So parang ito yung another way of innovating the brand.
Nice.
So
Nice.
so far we launched um we're gonna launch our third NFT on the Independence Day, collaborating with
Ah,
Crypto
sweet.
Art Lab.
Nice.
So it's a
Independence
Awesome.
Day.
Jose
Sakto.
Rizal poster.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
limited edition to 20. Yung mga ganun.
20. Oh my gosh, that's gonna
Yeah.
be. Yo, best of
So
luck to you guys. I'll
Good
definitely check
luck.
it out.
Yeah.
I just want to
thanks.
see. I just want to see. Man,
I
it's
will.
gonna be.
I'll share. I'll share sa link.
Sige, sige.
Yeah.
But
So
how about
that's
you, Mark? Oh,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
oh yeah, Mark.
So
How about
so
you? What are you excited about?
so we just tested an idea of it's something actually it's familiar. We're so familiar with in digital content, which is subscription. So we launched a candle subscription basically
Nice.
couple of months ago. Um, and this is I've dilly dallied on this for a long time because I'm not sure how ready the market is for something like a subscription and then for candle spa and at that. So but we're kind of happy with the initial response. I guess it kind of works for those who are really into people who can't not have candles at home, so they're not you know um, worrying about how to replenish their stack, or they're having a candle for a gift, that they suddenly need a gift for someone and they don't have anything to get. So that's something that we're planning to enhance, or make better in the future. And then I guess more scents, more collection um, coming along. um, and then we're actually exploring other channels of experiencing the scents. Last
NFTs.
year, not NFTs, but
Sorry.
that's
NFT cent.
but after today, maybe that's
Scratch and
something
sniff,
more
no?
to
Scratch and sniff na NFT.
Sorry. Anyway,
Virtual.
Mark.
Yes, yeah. But things that that people use at home, because not everybody's um
Mm, yeah.
you know are comfortable with an open flame, because that's a thing as well. People who
Yeah.
they like the scent, but they want to have an open flame at home because they have kids, or they
Kids
have
like this.
right, right, and pets. So more channels, I guess, more I call it
Got
conduits
it.
of fragrance um in the future.
Can you
Nice.
give us ba,
Well, we'll
ano?
look out for that.
May sneak peek
Ha-
ba of like what are the upcoming scents or ano muna? Wait
Oh
and see
shit!
na
I think
lang.
we need diamonds for that. I
um
think we need diamonds.
yeah,
Ayan.
yeah, that's something we'll announce soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Meron dito nag-suggest alimuom scent daw. Alimuom,
the
I had to Google it. It's like pa ano, the scent
Yeah.
after the
it's
rain.
it's
Yeah.
petrichor,
Yeah.
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 It's the that
Isn't it like dew? Like, isn't
um
it similar to like dew?
Ano siya? Oh, ano nga
not
siya?
not actually, it's the parang the smell from the soil.
Ano
Parang
soil?
may
Oh my gosh!
something
I smelled it.
emitted by the soil after
Ah,
Grabe no.
after
yeah.
a strong rain, ganon. It doesn't, no, actually, even light rain,
Yeah.
mas
Yeah. Even
mas
that. Right.
prominent yata siya with light rain. Kapag hindi talaga totally malakas na ulan, then the soil will have a smell. That's that's a comforting scent also for some people. But here in the Philippines, that's not very. I mean, especially the older generation, they have mga pamahiin, not really pamahiin, but they think it's bad for your tummy. I think that smell will
Mm.
Oh.
make your tummy hurt. Parang ganun.
Wow. Like
Grab,
gassy or something.
But yeah,
I mean parang now that we're talking about it, now that now that we're talking about it, it's like we're remembering many scents but na we didn't have words for. Like, oh ano, that's a scent
Yeah.
na very
yeah.
distinct. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, we have a bunch of questions that are more advicey. So we can start first with like how do you enter the market? Especially like if you want to be like a local brand and you want to enter a market that you mentioned this earlier a while ago na with the rise of like Instagram and other avenues, many brands, there are many smaller niche brands na. So in a way, it's also becoming saturated in a way na rin na para ang dami ngayon nakakapag sell on their own. So like how do you enter that scene?
My well, go ahead, Mark.
No, go ahead.
Well, for my advice, if you're starting out, really stick to your story. That will make you unique. And another thing, when you test out your market, like test it with your friends, your family, get an advice with people. Don't parang you can always have people na magte-test for you before you launch it sa market. So yung mga ganon. Yung t-shirt namin before, we were just giving it out to our friends. And then there's instant feedback kung ano pa yung mga gusto nila, or parang pipili pa sila ng mga ganito na magsasuggest pa ng ibang kulay, maganda yung meron ganitong message. So with that one, there's an parang instant market testing with your family and friends. So that's another strategy. And yun, important yung you have to find your own story and be true to that story and stick to that
Nice.
story. Be consistent. So yeah.
How about you, Mark? What's your advice
Yeah.
to anyone out there trying to enter this growing market of local brands?
Right. I agree with Joey about testing. I think it's tempting to spend a lot of money on developing and making your product look nice, making all this packaging, and then um, and then kind of skip on testing your product. And by testing, I mean make sure there's a market that is willing to pay for that product that you're launching. Because if they just like it but they're not really willing to pay for that, then there's you're missing that intersection of having your passion and your business work for you.
Right.
So I think that's the main thing. And also choose about that story. I think it's also important that you um, choose the story and test the story also, because um, you can keep on changing these things. You don't have to have it on day one, and then if it's not working, then you somehow want to stick to it. No, you can change it at any point. That's why it's important that you test quickly, and so you can fail quickly as well if it doesn't work, and then you change it, and then they call it pivot and all that stuff. But all you're really doing is just testing that you're gonna have a business really that
Yeah.
will work. So
Amazing. And it's like, it's storytelling, also like conversation. Like, I guess how I interpreted that, it's almost like an endless conversation, and you're just
Yeah.
having that dialogue, right?
it doesn't stop actually.
Yeah.
I'm just in the industry for like 3 years, and it's a constant debate
Nice.
between yourself and whatever is that idea. And I'm sure for Joey as well, it's been there for a while now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really have to listen to your audience, and then really get that feedback. Or you really sometimes, like for our t-shirts, we design, and then we have like a certain number of people vote for it, like our customers or our friends. So the top votes, we produce those designs. So even before coming out with the final designs, we had we had feedback already. So very important yan for us. And
Awesome.
they become rin talaga engaged in the process. So
Yeah.
that's one thing na we like to do. Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, for everyone who heard all that, it's basically, keep telling your story and keep hearing how people respond, right? So if you like what you heard, please show some love. We're about to wrap this up now. We are wrapping up the show as we always do with our play of the week. Woohoo! I wish I had the sound effect. Anyway,
Gusto mo sound effect
Play
yan?
of the week.
thank you. Ayan.
Pwede ko play sa background ko.
Well, now she's quiet. Now she's quiet that you made. Anyway, we talked a lot about work. Now it's time to talk about play. So, any fun activities or recommendations for our listeners to unwind from the busyness of business? Who wants to go first?
I can go
Binge
first.
watching.
Go. Yay,
I
what
know.
are your binges?
Ako,
Go, Joey.
excited ako with the 13 that's gonna launch
Yes!
tonight.
Everybody's
And then-
talking
Oh my
about
gosh,
that.
tonight. Oh my gosh.
And then we have a collaboration. We did a quick collaboration with
Uh.
the guys from Trece, and then we designed the Trece T-shirt, and then we just launched it today.
Uy!
So
Really,
so we
really
can.
excited.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
Sold. Take my money.
Sige, paano ba? Paano mag-order? Pwede ba
So
mag-pre-order
that,
na?
yeah, it's on
Post the link.
dailygrindstore.com.
Dailygrindstore.com.
It's nice.
You hear
It's
that, everybody?
exclusive. Yeah.
Dailygrindstore.com. Get your Trece Team Manila gear.
I'm
Oh my
not gonna
god.
I'm not
I'm
even
amped.
gonna give my play of the week na kasi I'm just gonna go
Yeah.
to the store.
We're gonna let you to take over this podcast now. How about you, Mark? What's your play
You
of the
know,
week?
that's funny because when I was thinking about it when you earlier before we started this, I was thinking I don't know, uh, it's only Trece that I have in mind. So I kept thinking about what could be
Yeah.
what could be complementary
Oh my god.
to it. And I
Tres-
remember I have a book. I have a book
Wow.
called
Alam ko
Mga Nilalang
yan!
Nakagilagilalas. Yeah, right, by Edgar
Nice!
Calabesamar. So it's really just mythology,
Oh,
Filipino
wow.
Oh my
mythology, and
gosh. Wow.
it's drawn and there are
It looks so
illustrations and
great.
stories about them. I'm not sure. I think they said Trece will be very comprehensive, right, in terms of all this, all the mythology stories and
Mythology.
creatures. So I'm guessing this is a good side reading, I guess, as we all
Nice.
Fantastic.
binge watch. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's
Tristan's got his
fantastic.
book
There you
too.
go.
I came unprepared for Filipino Independence Day this time.
Wow, the
Sorry.
ching.
Grabe,
Sorry.
Philippine
No, but
independence.
I like
And then,
Oh boy, I'm not trying to make a statement or anything. I'm just that
That's
was
the-
bigyan
the
niya na
that's
lang
the
ng
closest
ano,
thing.
West
All my
Philippines
books are all
t-shirt.
the way there. It was the only one here. Slight hiccup on my part. Okay, Tristan, I normally go last, but I'll piggyback off of that. My thing is also something you can catch starting this weekend. Obviously, when you're done, or even before you go on that Trece binge, please stay tuned to Rappler. We're releasing Chuck Gutierrez's and Tanghalang Pilipino's General Rizal. You might remember that as the short film that premiered at Cinemalaya 2020 digital edition. It's playing for only a limited time on Rappler Act 1. That's on our YouTube channel. You can check out the Act 1 playlist. It's a beautiful, dramatic, but also very very real and gritty monologue, basically portraying Jose Rizal's older brother, General Paciano Rizal, and kind of like his last words, so to speak, to his brother. So yeah, check that out. It's awesome because it combines history with the current situation, and it was filmed and produced during lockdown last year. So I think it's a very important message that would resonate with people this Independence Day. So yeah, Tristan.
So for me, I was showing you guys the Trece books. I actually have the earlier editions, pero I also got the Avenida ones. Kasi this
Nice.
have like
Avenida books.
yeah, they have new art. So I wanna like show you at the benefit of doing a video and not just a podcast. You can see it's
Yeah,
they
can see,
reworked the
yeah.
art. Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
That's one. And then I saw Jujutsu Kaisen. So it's not Filipino,
Okay,
but I
side
think
plug.
many
Yeah.
people watch it over the weekend, diba? Like it's
I
so
watched
rad.
it last
Diba?
Just kidding.
Cool kid. I
Cool
watched
kid.
it last year, yeah.
Legally,
Anyway,
anyway.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think do we have to describe that, diba? It's basically sorcerers in the metro.
I'm
Parang
using.
sa
I
Trece
told
lang.
you I already said it in a play of the week.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
So sige, let's just
Yeah.
go Trece.
Trece. Keep
Yeah,
it
Trece.
Filipino.
The Avenida books
I'm cutting the Tao
The
Te Ching
Avenida
part.
edition.
It's a
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
That's
there
the
it is.
treasure shirt.
Ayun no.
Hey,
Di ba,
That's a Trece shirt.
this is the Dan Matutina, di ba? Dan
That's a Dan
Matutina.
Matutina.
Yeah, design.
Wow.
Nice.
wait, I
Grabe
want to
naman
give a
yung
shout out to our own Rappler girl,
Ganda.
Janina. She did
animated
an
that,
animated version of the. If you saw that floating around, the animated version
Yeah.
of that
Yeah.
design.
Si Dan Matutina at commissioned her to do the animated,
Yeah.
the motion graphics.
Ganda
of it.
rin.
Boom. That's how we all come
There
together.
you go.
Yeah.
Actually, extend na natin to. Countdown na to 13.
To Trece.
Konti na lang eh.
Yeah, if you're-
Bust out the, ano.
If
There's a
you're amped
countdown,
about
right? The
Trece,
11th.
guys, send us some diamonds.
Meron.
We have
Meron
nothing to do
countdown.
with Trece, but do it anyway. Anyway, okay, we can keep this going. It's been so fun with you guys. Like best way to spend my night really. But we're gonna have to say bye. But before that, last plugs. How can people keep up with you guys? Mark, how can people catch Saan and stay up to date with you?
Cool, thanks. So we're mostly active on Instagram. We are at Saan PH. We also have a Facebook page, facebook.com/SaanPH. And then, of course, our website, saanph.com.
Nice. And
That's
how
it.
about
Thanks.
you, Joey and Team Manila?
Yeah, catch us at Team Manila, Instagram, Twitter, and we have our online store, dailygrindstore.com. So that's
Nice.
where we're releasing our Trece tonight.
That's it. Yeah.
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 Oh my god. Okay. Anyway, we gotta stop. We gotta stop because the sooner we end
Fanboy,
this, the sooner I
fanboy
can
show
get.
pala to eh.
We can get
The
Yes.
into
sooner
the
I can
Trece
like
mode.
do that. Um, but Tristan, let's plug ourselves in while we're at it. If you wanna keep up with us and keep up with the show, well, first of all, please follow Rappler.com here on Kumu, Rappler DOTCOM. So it's all spelled out. If you want to keep up with me, I tend to post these announcements on my Instagram. I'm also on Twitter at Pawi Fiction, PAWI Fiction. And you, Tristan?
At Tristan Zinampan, both on Instagram and Twitter. Diba? Very
And there
creative yung handle ko, no?
yeah,
At Tris.
yes.
Most of my posts are about food.
So
Like
if you
kanina.
want, that's another sense. That's another
Oh,
sense,
diba?
rather. But speaking of which,
Mm.
again, this is all part of the hashtag Damako Lahi Ko movement. So you can just go on that hashtag and see basically everyone's on this. Even though we're locked down, we can definitely still go all out in celebrating Philippine independence this year. So thank you, Mark. Thank you, Joey, for joining us tonight. It was a fantastic conversation.
Thank you. Thanks for having
Thanks for
us.
having us.
Thanks, Joey. Thanks, Mark.
And thanks,
Thanks for saying
Kumu
Howie.
and our community. And thank you out there who are listening to this in podcast form. If you haven't already, please stay tuned to Hustle Inside the Industry on all podcast platforms, including Spotify and Apple, where you can leave us a rating. That would really help. But most of all, don't forget to hit that follow button.